Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is that you're listening to this. My name is Yvette Wanzu, and welcome back to the Walking with Wanzu podcast. How are you? How have you been? Has life been kind to you? It's been treating you good? Tough times? I'm sending you love and hugs nonetheless. Welcome back to the podcast. Enjoy listening. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for listening to yet another episode of the Walking with Wanzu podcast. Guys, it's another season 4. Who thought we'd get here? Mwalimu Ahmad's Hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? When I started this platform, it was in the thick of COVID. I remember the very first episode. I was just seated there. My daughter was unwell. I was also unwell. And I remember thinking, I really want to start that podcast, but when am I going to get around to doing it? And I just remember sitting down and grabbing my phone and starting, and I recorded. And then I just put it out there. And ever since, it's been awesome, honestly. I pride myself in having a space where I can just come, be vulnerable, share my thoughts. We learn together, we laugh together, sometimes we cry together, but it goes without being said. I don't think I can say this enough, guys, that I am really, truly grateful for the community that we're growing here. And I'm grateful to you and for you, just taking your time to be able to indulge my ideas and my thoughts, and I'm grateful for all the feedback that I get. And I'm just so happy that you're here. And welcome back to yet another season. This season is going to be fire. It's going to be bigger and better. I'm sure by now you can all see the growth. It's evident to see. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable sharing my ideas. And we're just creating a cute little community where we can just share, learn, and do this thing called life together. Amma? So today I wanted us to talk about something that, first of all, I have been consuming a lot of content as far as wow, come through, Kamba ancestors, as far as self improvement is concerned. Just a lot of self development, self improvement content, and I am really loving the space that it's putting me in. Um, Probably by the time you're listening to this, it's going to be maybe 2 months. I recently just got out of a situation. I am processing a breakup, and I have been going through the motions. During the first few days, I was very angry, I was very distraught, I was hurt, I was broken. And so I went through different spasms or just emotions. Some days were really hard, the days I would cry, the days I would just shut down and just go into autopilot. There are days when I spent bargaining and just thinking, what if I had done this? What if I had done that? And what did I contribute to bring me to this situation? What's going on? The days I was angry at the other party. And then I just got to a point where I told myself, you know what? You can only be in your feelings for so long. So then now you need to get to a point where you just have to be conscious about trying to heal and moving on from the entire situation. And that was hard for me to grab myself out of and also just to come to terms with. But I have an incredible support system, from my friends to my family, and people who just, people who knew the nitty gritty of it all. And they were just, they would encourage me, and they would be there for me just to talk, to listen, to encourage. And so I have gotten so much support from my loved ones and from my friends and even family, and from my loved ones in general, really. So then I just got to a point where I said, okay, so what can I start by doing? And the first thing I started doing is just by praying. Like when shit hits a fan, then now you just have to get to a point where you reach out to your maker. So of course I did quite a bit of praying. I'm still praying. It's not like I was praying in that season and then now I'm no longer praying. I still do pray. I was just a bit more intentional and a bit more frequent with the prayers that I was, with how I was praying. And then I just started consuming a lot of content, matters healing, matters self improvement. I think out of every experience that I go through, I always like to ask myself, what is the lesson in all of this? And then the other thing I like to ask myself is, how did I contribute to whatever it is that has happened? I think it takes two people to tango. It takes two people to be in a relationship. You cannot date yourself. And if you're dating yourself, more power to you. Actually, I might be joining you soon, because the dating pool out here, we're not going to speak, we'll speak life into the universe, but just as far as we are concerned, the dating pool out here is not giving us much to work with. It's a struggle. I hope it gets better. I hope I attract better, but it's a struggle. So if you're dating yourself, I completely understand why you would choose to do that. Anyway, so yeah, now I've just been in that season where I'm consuming a lot of self improvement content, whether it's podcasts, because I love podcasts. I'm not a movie person, so I don't watch a lot of movies, but I love podcasts. So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, I'm reading a lot of books, even audibles, and just trying to get myself to a space where I'm learning, I'm healing, I'm evolving. I'm just pushing myself to try and get into a space of healing, just work through it slowly by slowly, or like we like to say in Kiswahili, pole pole tu, bila pressure, bila stress. Yeah, so that has been me, guys. And so it'll take a while to shake it all off, but so far so good. And if you're here and you're also processing a breakup yourself, or you feel like you're at a point where your relationship is in the pits, honey, I see you and I feel you, and I'm sending you hugs and love and all that good vibes. And so we all know with every good character development story comes a lot of evolution and evolving, and that's what I'm here for. So today I wanted to answer a question that a lot of us are normally asked. If you've been interviewing for jobs like me, then you come across this question so many times. If you're out in the streets, if you're in the streets and you're dating and you're meeting everybody that you possibly want to meet, then you've been asked this question, and even you have asked people this question a number of times. And if you're generally just trying to meet new people or have deep conversations because you're a deep person just like I am, then you've asked this question a number of times. And as I was listening to a certain podcast today, I had them ask this question. And so one of the guests was being asked, "Who are you?" And of course, they proceeded to give a very detailed description of who they are, what they love, what their values are, what it is that they hold dear, what their aspirations and dreams are. And it was just, I mean, when you're listening, and this was a very charismatic speaker. So of course, when I was listening, I was just there taking notes and nodding a good one and just thinking, wow, yes, yes, I completely agree. And when I look at you, I could see why you say you are all those things. And then, of course, it was a panel, and so other people proceeded to be asked the same question, and they were answering them in their own special way. And what I really appreciate about content that has a number of people, just and this season, by the way, let me give you a spoiler alert. This season, I'm going to be bringing a lot of people on board, and you people are not ready for the raw conversations I'll be having with my guests. It's going to be fire. Yeah. And so, what I appreciated about that particular panel was a number of people were giving their opinion. So it wasn't just one person just telling the audience what their opinion is, and then they just flow with that conversation. It was a number of people talking about their opinions, how they would describe themselves, and how they would answer this infamous question, if I may call it, of who am I or who are you? So one person proceeded to say, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of us tend to really misunderstand or tend to answer this question in a way that you wouldn't deem it to be quite accurate. Because what we've done with life, and that's something that we've been conditioned to do, it's something that we've been doing since we were kids. It's you grow, we feed you, we breastfeed you. When you get to a certain age, we take you to school. You go to school, get your good grades if you can, secure a university government scholarship, and if you don't, then we can try and see if we can take you for a parallel course, or if we can take you into college. You finish college and now we're expecting you to try and get a good job or intern your way to greatness. And then after that, get your good job, get your money, get your car, get your good man or get your good woman, or whatever that partner looks like to you, and raise a family. And then now you're the epitome of success. That's so who you are is a hard working person just living it up and doing this thing called adulting. So a lot of people tend to describe who they are based on their achievements or what it is that they have created around them to give them comfort, or to be able to for them to use to describe themselves. So if I was to ask you, who are you today? You tell me, Perhaps I am a 30-year-old mother of one. That's me. I would possibly, someone would say that I'm a 30-year-old mother of one. I am a daughter. I am a worker. This is what I do. This is my 9 to 5, or this is my 8 to 5, or whatever it is that you do. So a lot of us would tend to describe ourselves from based on what it is that we do, based on the roles that we have, whether you're a wife, whether you're a husband, whether you're a dad, whether you're a mom, whether you're a sister, a friend, all these things, these roles that you have in life. But who are you really? Because roles come and go. I mean, if you're a wife, you could get a divorce tomorrow, and then Susan, now you're nobody's wife. If you're an employer, an employee, you have a business, your business could go down the drain, God forbid, tomorrow. Then now you're not a business owner anymore. If you're an employee, you could get fired tomorrow, so now you're not an employee anymore. So if you have all this money, you're a billionaire, and that's good. I mean, I hope one day in life I can be able to refer to myself as a billionaire, people can refer to me as a billionaire. That would be nice. So all these things that we have around us, whether it's our kids, God forbid your kids could die tomorrow, you could die tomorrow, then I guess you're no longer a mom. And yeah, so we have all these things that we've built around us, perhaps roles and responsibilities, and some of the things that we take on and pursue and are able to accomplish. And we use all these things around us to be able to describe us. When in truth, when really, really, truly in truth, who we are is just who we are. After all these titles are stripped off, after all these roles that we assume are gone, after all these things that we own can be stripped off, whatever it is that is left, that is who you truly are. And so I'm not going to leave you hanging high and dry. As you think and ponder about what I have just said, I am going to describe myself to you, and then towards the end, we are going to describe you with your help, and then we're going to move on from there. So, who am I? Who am I? I am 30 years old. I'm a 30-year-old lady, and I am many things. I am many things. I think the first thing I would say is I am a child of God. Now, I don't know about you, but it could be anyone. It could be anyone to carry these good looks that I have. It could be anyone to carry this voice. It could be anyone to carry these opinions, or how it is that people experience me. But God chose me, and I know that sometimes life can be a bitch, and that's okay. It's okay to admit that. But sometimes life is also just really a gift, and it's just what it is. And so I am a child of God first and foremost. Before anything, before what it is that I entail and who I am a child of God, and I am loved by God, and He is the core of my being, and He is the source of everything and all that I am. So I am a child of God. Who am I? I am resourceful. Those who know me know that this is true about me. And it took a lot for me to be able to own this, because a lot of people are always telling me, I need this, I need to do this, or someone needs this, can you plug this, or can you do that? And whenever I'm offered a task, or there's something at hand that I need to do, I always find it within me to get the resources, or just find the technical know-how, and always come through with results. And so I know that I am resourceful. I am deep. I am very deep. And this is a conversation that I was having with someone a while back, and I was telling them, hey, I really feel like sometimes so and so doesn't get me, or this person misunderstands me. And she told me, you know what, Wanzu, just pause. Pause for a moment. I need you to realize that people process things differently depending on the stage, in the current season in life they are in, and depending on their experiences and how they are processing things. And sometimes some people are just born deep, like the way you interpret things, the way you see things, the way you move, the way you look beyond things. You're just generally a deep person. And so part of going through life and learning to stay with everyone and dealing with different people is knowing that not everybody is deep, or not everyone is like you, or everybody, according to whatever season and phase they are in life, then maybe their depth increases or decreases. So it's very important to meet people where they are. But one thing I know about me is I am deep. I am as deep as they come. So deep, you have no idea. I'm intelligent. Um, I like to think that especially when I put my mind into something, I grasp things. I try to see beyond things. I'm just I think that I am intelligent, point blank period. I am love. I am love, and I am a lover of love. I love all things love. I'm crazy about love. Sometimes I feel like it also goes a bit too far, if I'm being honest, but I am a sucker for love. I really love love, and it's love in every aspect. Love for family, love for friends, love for people around me, and I go hard for the people that I love and that I care about. But also, I'm also just a sucker for romantic love. I think um, I'm a genuine believer that there's someone for everyone, and even if whatever point in your life you get to experience romantic love and the fullness and the beauty and the rawness and the awesomeness that comes with it, even if it's just all of 1 month or 10 years or all of 5 years, I believe that everyone at some point gets to experience that in their lives, and it's a beautiful season to experience, and it's a beautiful place to be in. And I wish that for myself again, and for all of you out there, if you haven't experienced it, or if you're experiencing it, love is beautiful, love is sweet, y'all, love is sweet. And so I am love. I am nurturing. I am very nurturing. Sometimes I genuinely like to see the people around me comfortable, happy. I like to see them win. I get so happy when I see someone telling me, I was trying to do this, and this is the end goal, and this is where it's at for me, or this is what I'm accomplishing. I genuinely love to see people that are around me, or people that I care about, or people that are close to me, or people that I know of. I love to see them winning. I love to see them winning. And I am crazy about celebrating small wins. For me, it's always the small wins. It's always the small wins that get to me. And so I know I'm nurturing. I am resilient. I am very resilient. And I mean, it's 2023. The way life is lifing. Can we afford not to be resilient? But one thing I know about me is I am very resilient. It doesn't matter what challenges come my way. It doesn't matter how it comes in any way, shape, or form. And that's not to say that challenges don't set me back. One thing about me is I'm an overthinker. And so one thing we all know also about overthinkers. Wow, I can't talk. One thing we know about overthinkers is most of the time they're always imagining the worst case scenario even before it happens, even before we establish that there's a scenario to begin with. And that's something that I really struggle with. I'm just sipping my mint tea. That's something that I really struggle with. And so I've had moments where I've gone through certain difficulties. It could be in the work environment, it could be in my love life, it could be in my personal life, it could be in parenting, it could be just generally in adulting, it could be with family, it could be with friends. And so for me, I'm very solution oriented. I'm just like, okay, so this is the problem. How do we move? How do we move? How do we go? And sometimes it takes me a while to process, to see even the damage and the pain that it has caused me. But one thing that I know is I always find a way to go over above, just over and beyond, and just try and get through the problem or the challenge or whatever it is. And so I am many things, and I know that I am resilient. I am unique. I am very unique. I don't think if I go, just around the world and we hear this being said and thrown around a lot, unless I have, like that thing they normally had that thing they had in the Vampire Diaries, where there was Catherine and then there was Elena. Was that her name? I don't know what you call that. Um, Having someone in the world who looks exactly like you. I don't know what they call that. I think they have a name for it. Unless I have that, and I'm sure even if they look exactly like me, whether they're my twin or not, of course, how we move and how we see things and how we interpret things and all of that is totally different. And so I am unique. I am unique. I am unique in how I view things. I am unique in how I dress. I feel like my sense of style is also quite unique, but I wouldn't also quite just pin it on fashion and my sense of style, because fashion is how you show up. It's how people see you. It's how you show up in different ways and in different capacities. So I wouldn't pin it on just how I dress fully. And then I am fragile. I think I have a very fragile heart. I have a very fragile spirit. I Now, I'm fragile in a lot of way. I like to be carried with a certain amount of tenderness. I hear my alarm ringing in the other room. Just give me a second. I'm back. Yes, nobody can stop reggae. It's always when you're recording that everything and anything can happen. First of all, when I'm recording, my daughter is always up to the naughtiest things, and then that is when my neighbors want to come out and just talk and be loud and do everything, and then that's when the alarm decides to go on. But as I said, nobody can stop reggae. And where was I? I was saying that I am unique. Um, I think it's just our uniqueness shows in how we do things. Everybody has their own special touch and their own unique way of how they do things and how they show up and how people get to experience them. And so I would say that I am unique in that aspect. I feel like everybody who knows me or who has experienced me has something unique to say about me. And so I am unique. I am fragile. I like to be treated in a fragile manner. I like to be handled with care. However, I know that the universe is not my mother's backyard. And so there are sometimes that people will be sent to rattle your feathers. Sons of Herod will also be there to try you and to test you. But we remain resilient nonetheless. And so a lot of things that I know a lot of things about me, but I know that one thing about me is that I am fragile. Um, I am beautiful. I'm beautiful. And I'm telling this to myself as I tell it to you as well. Whether it's clear to you or not, you are made in the image and the likeness of God. And there are times that, especially for women, and I feel for men as well, and I would really love to have a man come on here and unpack matters self image as far as the male experience is concerned. I think as women, we really sometimes struggle with our self image or with our beauty, just feeling beautiful in general. Because of how our bodies change. I know how my body was when I was pregnant. It wasn't the way it was after I gave birth. It's definitely not gone back to the way it was earlier on. Our body weight fluctuates. There are people who are always struggling to gain weight. Some are struggling to lose weight. Some are struggling to maintain their current weight. Um, some people struggle with their complexion because of because of the culture and what is perceived to be beautiful and what is not, and stuff like that. And so I really yo-yo with this. There are times that I feel beautiful, there are times that I feel not so beautiful, but the bottom line is I am beautiful. And so I could go on and on and on, but I feel like these are some of the things that if I was asked, who are you, would definitely pop up off the top of my head without having to think too much about it. The truth is, after all is said and done, life is a gift. And sometimes, because of the rat race and the chase of what life is, it is very easy for us to lose sight of what truly matters. What truly matters is that you're here in your best, best and most raw form. And God doesn't make mistakes. And there's a reason why you're still here. And I feel like before we even learn to appreciate ourselves or appreciate the people, before we even learn to appreciate the things that we have or the people that we have around us, it is very important that we learn to appreciate ourselves. Um, a lot can change for you when you learn to love and learn yourself but also value yourself. It's not, I think self improvement and self development and even just self actualization and just learning yourself is a never ending journey. I guess it ends when we transition into the other side and see what that looks like. But as long as you're here and you're living life, then the journey for self improvement never really quite does end. And I had something today that I thought was really awesome. And someone was saying that we should allow and extend grace to each other and allow ourselves to change our minds. Um, we all have people in our lives, including yourself, you're in your life. The person you were last month is definitely not who you are this month. Glory, hallelujah, because we're channeling the sun in August. July has just been. What in the Siberia is happening in Nairobi? I don't even know at this point. We're hitting lows of 13 degrees. So definitely who I was in the month of July is not who I am in August. We are glowing and we're shining and we're just wearing less clothes. And that was on a lighter note. So, who you were last month, last year, who you were even pre-COVID is not who you are post-COVID. Your values change. Some of the things, it's like you become more enlightened, or sometimes you choose to go about things in a different way. Basically, all I'm trying to say is that people change, and I think we should allow people the space, and also allow ourselves the space to change. It's okay if you felt some type, you felt some kind of way about something, and you no longer feel that way about it now. It's okay if you had a certain standard of beauty, a while back, and that's not the standard of beauty for you now, and you feel like you want to redefine it and you want to change. Allow yourself and the people around you the space to evolve. And when they do that, try to understand where they're coming from. But more so, allow yourself and extend yourself the grace and the space to be able to evolve. Who are you, dear one? Who are you, beloved? I don't know what it is that you refer to yourself as. I don't know who it is that you describe yourself as. It is my prayer that as you go through life, and even as you just, you're constantly evolving and just trying to figure out life, it is my prayer that you learn to describe yourself, through God's eyes, and through the eyes of which, through the people that love you, see you with. I am sending you love and light. Extend yourself grace, extend yourself love, and define yourself from a point of power. Define yourself from a point of positivity. Define yourself by the essence of who you truly are, which is magical, which is godly, and which is beautiful and is marvelous in our eyes. Sending you love and light. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and being part of my journey. I would love to hear from you. Find me on Instagram at Yvette Wanzu. Find me on Gmail at tewanzu@gmail.com. Feel free to write to me so that we can interact and get to know each other a little bit better. Thank you so much for being part of my journey and for walking with me and doing this thing called life with me. See, we just do life together. Have a good one. Sending you love and light, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.